Hi, and welcome to Caregiver Matters. There are a couple things that I want to talk to you about today, and I'm going to record them in two separate videos just because I think they'll each take about 3 minutes, and I want to stay inside that window. I think a lot about this channel and the things I'd like to discuss, and I also think about how there may be many other things that you would like to have me tell you about or talk about, or questions you'd like to have answered. And if that's the case, I really hope you'll use the comments on this page to tell me what those things are so that I can address them for you. I want this channel to be useful, so please let me know if there's anything that you want to talk about. So the first thing I want to talk about is how the history of your relationship dynamics with your parent, if you're like an adult child caregiver, can make caregiving complicated for both of you and difficult for both of you. So an example of that would be if you have a parent like my dad who had a history of being very reactive and angry. And as he got older and started losing his short-term memory, that really made him angry. And his anxiety about the world and everything just really made him angry. And so as his daughter, I had a history of reacting to his anger, right? Like when you're little and people are angry like that, you're afraid of them. And then as you get older and you start to sort of assert yourself, your relationship becomes very conflicted because you're not just letting them be angry at you, you're reacting to them. And so by the time we hit my late 30s, early 40s, and he started to really struggle and need things, we had this long entrenched pattern of conflict, right? Which some of my social work training helped me sort of set aside when I would go into the room to help him, or to talk to him, or to just visit with him even. And sometimes I could do it and he could react to my social worker persona, which was more relaxed and more compassionate with him and more understanding. And then other times it just didn't work. I couldn't do it and he couldn't. It just didn't work. So I'd get these like splitting headaches and I'd be exhausted and I'd need like emotional triage afterwards, which is really what I wanted to talk to you about, is making sure that you have access to emotional triage. If this is the reality that you have with your parent, that you have this long history with them, maybe they were abusive when you were a kid, maybe they were neglectful when you were a kid, maybe they just had emotional issues that made your family setting dysfunctional. All that stuff's going to be in your face now when you're taking care of them, and you need to have access to emotional triage. Who can you call that will understand you and empathize with you, and yet still have in their mind that your parent is this individual also that is not a bad person, just that isn't really happy with their circumstances. So for my dad, nothing angered him more than not remembering something important. And when you start to lose your memory, everything was important and you can't remember any of it, you're very angry. And so when I talk to people about my experiences with him, I tried to pick people who could have compassion for him and for me and sort of remind me about the point, which was to take care of him. So I hope that's helpful to you. I ran a little long. I'm going to record another video shortly to talk about self-determination in older adults. It sort of goes hand in hand with this. And because when you're in a conflicted relationship and you have this long history together, it's hard to remember what they have the right to and what you want them to do can be two different things, and that can feed into the relationship dynamic. So it's all related, but I'm going to do it in a separate video. So please use the discussion section on this page to leave me topics you'd like to hear about. And until I speak to you again, take care of yourself because you are the most important person in your life.